Coming up next, some of us are seeing snow today, but it's been a warm winter so far. Where's all the snow? We talk with the experts.
And Center County Democrats react to Iowa caucus chaos.
Plus, how a local bar is taking steps to protect women through a secret codenamed drink. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon. I'm Alicia Hercules.
And I'm Hunter Kelly. Thanks for joining us. We begin with breaking weather news. Center County is under a winter weather advisory until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Snow's falling in many areas and gusty winds and a rapid freeze are on the way. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Joe Spear. Joe?
All right, thank you, Hunter. Winter weather is certainly the story for today, but we'll start off with a live look of what Beaver Stadium's looking like right now. Pretty cloudy, just a little bit of accumulation left over from the snow we were experiencing earlier. Here's a statewide view of the watches that we had. There's the winter weather advisory, which is this light purple. We have some more intense ones up towards the northeast. Southeast even saw some severe thunderstorms associated with this storm moving through. Snow depth, we're seeing pretty decent accumulations here in State College and Center County so far, but the rest of the system is going to be moving out by then. I see just a little bit of lingering snow. So for you guys at the desk, it's certainly something to be aware of throughout the rest of the day.
Thanks, Joe. And while we're back to the cold weather today, another shot of mild temperatures are on the way in the coming days. There's no question Central PA has seen warmer and not very snowy winter so far. Reporter Audra Lasky has the numbers on where we stand as we head into mid-February.
Winters in central Pennsylvania tend to look a lot like this. But this winter, we've seen many unseasonably nice days that's left many people asking, where's winter? According to the National Weather Service, the average snowfall for our area is around 40 inches. Now halfway through the winter season, we've only seen a fraction of that. Bill Syrett from Penn State Meteorology says the snow shortage is because of this year's storm tracks.
Snowfall has been way down. We're in the bottom 15% at 9.8 inches so far. We should have more like 2 feet by this time in the winter. The storm track has been to our west and north, and that always brings warm air in here and cuts down on snowfall.
As of early February, PennDOT has only used 5,000 pounds of salt for clearing the roads in Center County, leaving almost 10,000 pounds left.
Though it's been nice to enjoy some warmer days this winter, this may come with some repercussions in the springtime.
Michael Scavarla is an insect expert at Penn State. He says these warmer winter temperatures could eventually bring new invasive species down the road.
Climate change, which is associated with these warmer springs and warmer winters, is going to affect the range of certain species. So things like yellow fever mosquito doesn't really occur in Pennsylvania. It's a more southern species.
Those who love the cold still have plenty of time for the snow to pile up this winter. Just remember what Puxatawny Phil's prediction was last weekend. The groundhog says an early spring is on the way. In State College, I'm Audra Lasky for the Center County Report.
And our weather anchor, Joe Spear, will have more, including the 7-day forecast, coming up later.
We're having some warmer weather this winter, but flu season is in full swing. The latest data from the Center for Disease Control shows the flu is widespread across Pennsylvania right now. It's also considered widespread in all states except Hawaii and the District of Columbia. The CDC estimates as many as 26 million flu cases so far this season, which started in October. Experts also estimate at least 10,000 deaths nationwide. More cases of coronavirus are emerging around the world. More than 31,000 people are infected and more than 600 have died. Here in the U.S., Wisconsin has confirmed a case, bringing the total to 12 in the U.S. American evacuees from China have arrived back home and are in quarantine to prevent the potential spread of the virus. Also today, airlines are extending their suspension of flights to mainland China.
The race to decide the Democratic Party's presidential nominee is heating up amid caucus chaos in Iowa. Brandon DeWolf spoke with Democratic Party leaders here in Center County to see how they're dealing with the fallout.
A new phone app in Iowa meant to speed up and smooth out the presidential caucus process promptly crashed Monday night, leaving candidates waiting and delegate counts largely unknown. 3 days of technical issues and delays made national news. and Democrats here in Central PA took notice.
There was a little, unnerving that it took so long to sort out the results. They probably should have kept their old system in place and then tried the new system as a test instead of like running it the first time and then not having enough people on the telephones.
Local Democratic Party leaders met at the Nittany Lion Inn Wednesday night to sign petitions for state and local candidates.
Center County Democrats say that although there are lessons to be learned from Iowa, they're looking ahead to the primaries in New Hampshire on Tuesday, in Pennsylvania in the future, and in states across the nation.
But I think there's been enough people kind of heaping their disdain onto the Iowa Democratic Party. So I'm ready to move on to New Hampshire and get these primaries going and to start naming some winners, start giving out delegates so that we can really just move on with this process.
With the New Hampshire primary on Tuesday, Democrats have one common goal in mind: beating President Donald Trump in November.
Iowa happened. Great. Let's move forward.
In University Park, I'm Brandon DeWolf for the Center County Report.
The chairman of the Democratic National Committee has called for a recanvass of the Iowa results that have Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders nearly tied for the lead. And President Trump is reacting after his impeachment acquittal this week, calling the proceedings evil and corrupt. After just over 2 weeks of presentation from both the White House, defense lawyers, and House managers, the Senate cleared Trump on both articles of impeachment. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts read the verdict.
The Senate, having tried Donald John Trump, President of the United States, upon 2 articles of impeachment exhibited against him by the House of Representatives, and 2/3 of the senators present not having found him guilty of the charges contained therein, it is therefore ordered and adjudged that the said Donald John Trump be, and he is hereby, acquitted of the charges in said articles.
The president said the Republican Party is more unified than ever and predicted momentum from the acquittal would carry him over to re-election in November.
Governor Tom Wolf is proposing a new Pennsylvania budget that targets student debt and promotes education. His plan would create a major new program for college scholarships, require public schools to provide full-day kindergarten, and spend $1 billion to clean up environmental health hazards in public school buildings. Republicans criticize Wolf's proposal as adding more debt and spending. Some salaried workers could see an increase in their pay soon. That's because a state board has approved a plan that would make Pennsylvania one of several states to expand eligibility for overtime pay beyond federal levels. The new recruitment would force employers to pay certain low-salaried workers OT when they work over 40 hours in a week. It could go into effect in a few months.
Pennsylvania is cracking down on human trafficking. Governor Wolf just signed a new law to increase penalties for certain human trafficking offenses, and some money from criminal fines will be directed to help sexually exploited children. The law makes it the most serious category of felony to recruit, keep, or transport someone if you know the victim will be subject to sexual servitude.
Another big problem across the state is sexual assault, but one state college bar is trying to help by taking steps to make women customers feel safer. Reporter Anna Middleton has more.
In downtown State College, Bill Pickles Tap Room is taking students' advice on how to make going out safer. Last year, a group of Penn State students introduced a code-named safety shot idea to the bar. Women can get help if they don't feel safe by asking for a certain alcoholic shot at the bar. Kathy Staub heard about the program and thinks it's a great idea.
Some people have different levels of anxiety that can often hinder them, from being able to take maybe action themselves.
The mystery shot name and procedure is only listed in the women's restroom and stays private among women in the bar and the staff.
Women can come to the bar if they feel like their situation is out of their own hands. They can either order a singular shot or a double shot. A singular shot, they just need someone to intervene. If they order a double shot, they need some serious help, whether that comes from the police or the owners of Pickles.
It's now been about a year since Pickles implemented the safety shot idea, and it's received positive feedback from women.
I think it's a good idea to have, just in case, because I know a bunch of people go out sometimes without friends, or they get lost from their friends and they don't know how to get separated from the situation. So I think that would be a good idea if you need help and you don't know who else to ask.
So far, no one has had to use the shot with the secret name at Pickles, but it is there, just in case. In State College, I'm Anna Middleton for the Center County Report.
The Basement Night Spot, owned by the same group as Pickles, is also implementing the new safety shop.
Some snow in parts of the area today, but will it warm up this weekend? The 7-day forecast is coming up.
Plus, new plans for the site of Pennsylvania's oldest motel in State College. Also coming up, how one man's unique experience growing up with two deaf parents helped shape his future, and what he's doing now with music to help others.
Oh, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
A vacant building in State College on South Atherton Street may be undergoing renovations in the near future. After being sold for $2.1 million in 2016, there are plans for the former Autoport Motel and restaurant property to become a new hotel. This plan by Hilton proposes demolition of 3 buildings on the site and construction of a new multi-purpose building. It would include a new extended stay hotel and 8 apartment units. The renovation project at Memorial Field and State College is on track to wrap up this summer. The $14 million project is in its final construction phase. School district officials say it should be done by the end of July. Construction started last year, and the field has been closed since then. The State High football team played its games on campus last season. The project includes new locker rooms, concessions, upgraded seating, and a pedestrian plaza.
A new research group at Penn State is focused on helping both professional and amateur singers improve. Steph Crane talked with members of the lab to find out how studying music can help anybody who uses their voice.
If you ever sang happy birthday to a friend, you know how useful your voice can be. Brian Nichols grew up in a household with 2 deaf parents. Without a radio in the house for years, Nichols and his sister had an unconventional introduction to music.
We would take my mom's keys and go outside to the car and listen to tapes in the tape deck in that car.
Now, he and his lab of graduate and undergraduate students are focused on music and people's voices. The Pitch Exploration Lab at Penn State does research into how singing and voice affect the brain. Topics include understanding the pitch range in familiar songs and helping people protect their voice.
Members of the Pitch Exploration Lab were proud to display their projects in a showcase on campus. They say their research can help people find their voice.
Scott Atchison is a PhD student in music education and a member of the lab. He says the projects benefit everybody, regardless of singing ability.
If we can help people understand how their vocal habits change, that's going to help them later on have healthy habits.
While the lab does higher level research, Nichols says the ultimate goal is for people to appreciate music and their own voice.
Anything that contributes to how much people enjoy music, or particularly how much people enjoy participating in music, we count that as a win.
In University Park, I'm Steph Crane for the Center County Report.
The lab accepts Penn State students from all majors who are interested in joining.
I'm Joe Spear here with your weather update. We'll take a look at what the winter weather that was nipping us in earlier, but I don't think it's going to last around much longer. Here's a live shot of Beaver Stadium. Pretty cloudy skies, a little bit of accumulation happening down here on the ground. Temperatures across the rest of Pennsylvania, 32 degrees here in State College, colder off towards the west, but I want you to check this out over here in southeast Pennsylvania. See this circling of lines right here in a counterclockwise kind of motion? That's the low pressure center that brought us that winter weather that we're experiencing earlier today. And you can even see the front setup behind it. This border of blue and green right here, that's the cold front that really swept across the state, bringing in those colder temperatures. And the warm front is right up here on that New Jersey, New York barrier, bringing warmer temperatures into the rest of New Jersey. We currently did have a winter weather advisory here in State College. That's in effect until 1 p.m. also for the rest of the western part of the state. But over here towards the eastern part, they were stuck more with rain, and we're stuck with severe thunderstorms as well. Even the possibility of a tornado warning was sent out in Philadelphia. More intense winter storm warnings up towards the north. Here's what the radar satellite has us looking at right now. Lingering snow showers through the rest of State College, more intense over towards the west and up towards the north. Still rain over towards the east. That's going to continue throughout the rest of the day. Timing out what we're going to see later. Around noon is when I'm going to say that the snow is going to cut off here in State College. But check out these lake effect snow bands up here around Erie and Buffalo. I'm sure they're getting a lot of accumulation. But throughout the rest of the day, you should see relatively clear weather, lingering snow showers off towards Pittsburgh and the rest of the western part of the state. So your forecast for today has a high of 36 degrees, lingering snow. It's going to be breezy. Winds out of the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Gusting could get as strong as 30 miles per hour. So if you're wearing a hat, might as well hold on to that. Strong winds are going to continue into tonight as well. We have a low set of 21 degrees. It's going to be mostly cloudy. Chance of flurries lingering throughout the rest of the day and into the night. And that's going to continue into tomorrow morning as well. Here's your forecast for tomorrow, Saturday, the beginning of the weekend. Mostly cloudy throughout the day, but a chance of flurries that are lingering overnight that's going to continue into the day on Saturday. A high of 34 degrees, 2 degrees away from the freezing line. Winds calming down a little bit out of the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now here's the 7-day forecast that we've all been waiting to see. Scattered snow on Friday, flurries early on Saturday, but Sunday, staying true to its name, that's when we're going to start to see a little bit of snow. And that's when temperatures are going to start to rise up as well. Here we see the rest of the week, 40, 44, 42, 40s on the ending of the next coming work week. That's well above average for this time of year. We should see temperatures getting more above average. And we could see a little bit of mixed precipitation as well. So for you guys here, I can't promise a dry sky, but I can certainly promise some warmer weather.
Yeah, some warmer weather on the way, which is always good. But, we still have some precipitation in the forecast. Now over to Ryan Lamb in sports.
Next in sports, we have highlights from State High basketball, and Penn State basketball gets ready for its next challenge this weekend. Also coming up, Nittany Lion coach James Franklin is back at the podium, and so are his new offensive coaches. Check out what they have to say up next.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language or talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
Don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
I'm Ryan Lamb with sports. Penn State men's basketball is red hot right now. The Nittany Lions are back home tomorrow to play Minnesota at the BJC. They're on a 5-game winning streak, and they upset number 16 Michigan State in East Lansing on Wednesday night. Penn State is now 17-5 on the season and 11-1 at home. Coach Pat Chambers commented on the rocky end in the last matchup against the Gophers.
It's in the past. Put the past in the past. We're a different team right now. We got to stay laser focused on the task at hand to become the best team we can be.
The game tips off at 4 p.m. and you can listen live on Penn State's Com Radio. To high school basketball now. State College High is on the road tonight to play Central Dauphin. The Little Lions were on a 2-game winning streak before running into trouble this week. Everything seemed to be clicking early for State College against Carlisle, as they couldn't miss from beyond the arc, like this triple from Zach Orndorff. They were up 22 at the half, but the big second half propelled the Thundering Herd into overtime as Logan Lapham Boys tied the game at 62 in the final minute of regulation. Lapham Boys hit the game winner later in overtime to sink Coach Brian Shawley's Little Lion team 68-66. State High is now 6-14 on the season. Penn State hockey will look to bounce back during a 2-game series this weekend that has the team in Columbus, Ohio. Guy Gadowski's squad failed to pick up a win against Notre Dame at home last weekend, and they'll look to separate themselves from the pack against the Buckeyes, who share first place in the Big Ten with the Nittany Lions. Puck drop is 7 tonight at Ohio State. Penn State football coach James Franklin held his annual signing day news conference this week, but the headlines were less about recruiting and more about other changes. Here's more from Beaver Stadium. It's year 2 of the new early December signing period, so this week's regular February National Signing Day was uneventful for James Franklin's recruiting class.
For the most part, we don't have a whole lot of drama. On signing day, the guys that are supposed to sign.
Franklin still has to deal with a number of changes, both with the roster and the coaching staff. As the players signing of this player signing day in 2020 concludes, James Franklin turns the focus of his press conference on his 3 new offensive coaches, Phil Troutwine, Taylor Stubblefield, and also the new OC Kurt Chiroka. The new hires will bring some new vision to the team, but Franklin doesn't want to change everything.
This is how we did it at Penn State, and this is how we did it at Minnesota, and not necessarily just merging, but also saying, okay, well, what's in Penn State's best interest moving forward?
One of new offensive coordinator Kirk Chiroka's first tasks was helping build the new staff with Franklin.
Excited to be involved in the process and hiring them. So I knew they were a good fit.
Both new offensive line coach Phil Troutwine and wide receivers coach Taylor Stubblefield had workout sessions with the team, praising the players' drive to adapt and buy in. Amid all the changes, Franklin wants the culture and the strengths of the team to live on.
Finding somebody that says, okay, I'm really good at what I do, but also have enough flexibility that I'm not just going to come in and blow everything up and start all over when that's not where we're at as a program.
Franklin did not mention any decision yet on replacing defensive line coach Sean Spencer, who left for the NFL's New York Giants. He also said he plans to sign his new contract extension soon. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Ryan. Coming up next, looking for a fun and unique job? Find out where you can apply to drive this famous car and get paid. It's on our area next week.
taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
This next story might make you hungry or help you get a job. Oscar Mayer is back in Happy Valley with its famous Wienermobile. The 27-foot-long hot dog on wheels visited Penn State University Park this week, and it's back Monday and Tuesday on campus. It's staffed by recent college grads, and the team is recruiting graduating seniors during this visit. Many Penn Staters have been on the Wienermobile team over the past 30-plus years.
And that's all for today's newscast. Thank you all for joining us today. You can find more of our stories on our website. We have a ton there, centercountyreport.com.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on Twitter. That's at Center County REP or on our Facebook page. We also have a Center County Report Instagram. Join us for our next newscast next Friday. Have a good weekend.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.